Thanks so much, Jessica. And I just want to let people know what's beautiful about these Ask a Leading Women. The series is that they're more intimate gatherings, and we can just sort of, if people have questions, unmute and just ask your question. Please feel free to, because we really want this to be conversational. But I do want to kick off with a question that I think we all struggle with between families and careers. And Jess, how do what's your experience? How do you balance everything? I think that's something that people always want to know when they hear people's journeys and hear about mentorship. And how do you balance life?
Well, I'll be really honest with you. I have a great support system, and I think none of us can do what we do without the support of others, whether that's our family, friends, colleagues. We all kind of build each other up. And so I think just acknowledging that. I have a great husband. And so I'm a mom and I have a 6-year-old daughter. And so being in a position, in recent positions, especially as a county administrator, which I loved, and what I love in being a president and CEO and being at the table so that our voice is heard and being engaged in a lot of different community activities and the work that we do, there are no set hours. And so I'm really lucky to have a husband that really has more of a flexible schedule than I do. But we also we're fortunate, not everybody has this, but we have family in the area as well, because we're both busy people. And so we really try to, it's a juggling act with the calendar and our calendars dictate a lot of what we say. But I think just making that time and really trying to squeeze every minute and be as effective as you can with your time.
I love it. Colleen, do you want to ask your question?
Hi, Jess. You were a German Marshall Fellow, and I know most people don't know much about that. Could you share a bit about that? Because I think that was a piece of your journey that was important.
It really was. I think to have, like I said, I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities. And so I was a German Marshall Fellow. I applied for this program, and I would encourage folks to look at the German Marshall. It's the German Marshall Memorial Fellowship that I took part in, but they have other opportunities for leaders across all sectors to really learn about transatlantic governance and policy, and just to have that transatlantic conversations happening. It really stemmed out of the Marshall Plan, which after the World War, really trying to connect the United States, Germany, other countries together to continue to build relationships and build experiences. And so there are fellows that go from the United States, from different regions over to Europe. And then they have fellows that come from Europe that come over to the United States. And they have different categories. So the one that I did was for leaders under 40, emerging leaders. And it was a rigorous process to apply. And honestly, that is something I really wanted to pursue. And so I didn't get in the fellowship the first time, but through persistence, I did the second time. And they take groups, like I said, from the Midwestern region, kind of the South, the East, and the West. And so it's very competitive, but it was a great opportunity because we traveled in groups. And so we went to DC for a few days, and then we were put in small groups. We all went to Germany. And then from there, some of us went to Spain, some of us went to Italy, some went to smaller countries like Montenegro, or I'm trying to think of some of the smaller countries that people travel to. I went to Macedonia. So there were different experiences. And so you were really paired. This wasn't a vacation. You really were paired and talking to different sectors. So, governments, different businesses. At the time I went, there was a lot about green initiatives with vehicles and a number of different initiatives that were happening in Europe, like going to the Euro Bank. So there's financial elements. So really you did these interviews and then you met with different leaders. And so it was just a wonderful opportunity to see what others in the world are doing and how do we take those ideas back here. And I will say throughout that opportunity, there have been many junctures where there's been, in county government where we're looking at this type of a facility or this type of a policy, or here at Greater Mankato Growth, where there's a different community initiative. There's lessons that we saw in other communities that you can bring back to that. But also it's the networks that you build, I think, is the most powerful thing. And so I would encourage, if folks are looking at different leadership development programs or a fellowship, it's sometimes the cohort that you go with. And so some of the people in the United States, there's still a strong network there, and we continue to get together, and it's an amazing group. So I would just encourage that. I know through Greater Mankato Growth, there's things like the Leadership Institute, but we're also working with the Minnesota Young Leaders Program, where there's cohorts from all over the state of Minnesota that can apply to be part of this leadership program. And we just help facilitate that so people in our region can be part of a broader network. There's no charge. It's a free leadership program to be part of. And so just being open to those opportunities, I just think strengthens our perspectives as leaders, but also connects us in different ways to others that we can share or learn from.
Hey, Jess, and in the chat here, Gloria Perez from the Women's Foundation had a question really just that dovetails on what you were just talking about. And she just asked, as a statewide organization that's headquartered in Minneapolis, she'd like to know about your ideas of how the Women's Foundation might engage in Greater Minnesota with leaders who understand the unique needs of women, girls, and gender expansive people in your region.
Sure, I would love to connect further. So I don't know if you can share my contact information, Teresa, but would love to have a conversation. And that's exactly what happened with this Minnesota Young Leaders Program is we connected. And so making sure we're getting people from Greater Minnesota connected to these other programs. I think that's the strength of the Humphrey Institute program. They have a program and their scholarships and whatnot, but they really try to get people from throughout Greater Minnesota.
Yeah, and I think I did pop in the chat also a link to the Women's Foundation, and we've been fortunate at 100 Real Women to do some collaboration. So that'll be great to get you guys connected. And that's what this is all about, is trying to figure out how do we better connect with each other as people and organizations.
And I know that we have some men on the call too, so there's so many opportunities for women, but also there's a great deal of opportunities for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, I know we're winding down on time. I have a couple other questions, but if anybody has a question, you can pop it up now, or I do have a couple more for Jess.
I have a question for Jess.
Sure.
Yeah, it's Rob
Go ahead.
Wilken here. Jess, it's been a long time. You did a great job in Waseca County, and I'm great to see following you and your endeavors. I think it's awesome. But my question for you too, and maybe the group too, and I'm really excited to see this group established and be a part of this today. But as you may know, I'm the mayor of Waldorf, and I'm really supportive of diversity and also women in general, because I can't do everything without women. I'll tell you that right now. I have a great team out there. Okay. But my question for you as a whole, regionally is, and this is some things that I do on a global level. I'm very much involved internationally on different things, but I see things when I travel overseas, things that really could benefit Minnesota. For example, Minnesota wild rice is extremely popular with my friends in Japan and possibly the Philippines. So I'm always shipping rice over there in the wintertime for Christmas. They love it. Is that a marketplace for things like that, or other ideas that we can do on a global basis, not just on a regional basis? That's my question.
So I think that there's many things that we can do on a regional level for connectedness. I think networking opportunities, I can touch base with you offline a little bit, and maybe if you want to drop your contact information in the chat, I think there's a number of different things I could kind of connect with, because we have, I think higher education is also a part of that. And so especially in our region, Rob, I think there could be some opportunities for connections there with the culture and some of the international students and whatnot too.
I love it. And Jess, Mary Jo has a comment question in here. Mary Jo, go ahead, because that was one of the things I was going to ask.
I thought you might, Teresa, since you've got these great programs going on. Jess, wonderful leadership story. I totally agree with the importance of people in your life that are encouraging you and asking you, and kudos to you for saying yes when those people did put those opportunities in front of you. So my question was about, how do you sustain yourself? You know, you've got a lot going on, family, job, this amazing big new job that's not so new anymore. How do you sustain yourself? How do you keep going? How do you stay healthy and keep going?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I was doing a great job at it, because I'm not. I think we all struggle with it. So, you know, I could be better with the healthy aspect of it, but you know, my escape has always been nature. And so I think it's, you know, trying to get out and just do the simple things like a cup of tea or a walk or getting outside and doing something has been important to me. It's been a little challenging this spring, I'll be honest. And the batteries get low. I know that for many of us on this call, I mean, especially these last few years have just been a marathon. And when you think you're in a better place, you're grappling with post-pandemic, but then staffing issues and just a number of different, I would just say, hurdles that we're facing. And so you get burnt out, you get tired. And I think just allowing yourself the space to recharge a little bit if you can, even if it's just those simple things like going and getting a massage or spending time with family. Because I know when I am really putting in a lot of hours and I'm grinding and I'm not able to spend time with my daughter or go see my grandma or do something like that, it's those little things. And so just even if it's for a couple hours, just trying to be present in that. But I'll be honest, I don't do the greatest job at times. Sometimes I do a better job than others. And I think it's something that we have to constantly work out. And if others have expertise on that, I think we can all learn from each other, because it really ebbs and flows in our life.
Well, Teresa, I'll put in a plug for your great programs of meditation and yoga. And you should talk about those, Teresa, because, oh my gosh, 100 Rural Women is putting on these great opportunities for people to do that, for just take those little moments.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. And thanks for that, because it is what we heard in those first 50 meetings was mentorship, health, and mental health and wellness was, but that was a huge piece. So we've been doing free yoga and meditation like 4 times a week, and it's all online, all free. Everybody's welcome. Both of the instructors are used to teaching online, so it's really been fun, and we will be continuing that. So the whole thing with these 50, we're just completing these 100 meetings I wanted to do. I keep teasing, whose idea was that? But it's been a great learning experience, and now it's like, what do we take forward? What is really valuable to women and to folks in our rural communities to take forward? So we're really excited to be doing that. And so please join. It's all out on our website, 100ruralwomen.org. Please join in our programming. And I just want to, I know we're coming up to time here. I just want to thank you, Jess, for taking time out of your busy schedule and just let you know that you're absolutely amazing, and you need to know that. And thanks for sharing today. And for folks, I've been getting a lot of emails here of regrets, and just so folks know, we do have this recorded. We will have it on our website. It will be shared on our YouTube channel, because I know there's a lot of people and some old buddies of Jesse's, like Keith and a few other people from your publishing days, who have sent me messages during this saying that they couldn't make it because of another meeting. So I just want to let folks know that we will have this available to share. And Jesse, thanks so much. And really appreciate the time today and everybody's time today. So have a great weekend. And yeah, Jess, any final words, Jess, that you have that you want to share?
No, I just thank you so much for hosting these. I think it's important. I can't wait to listen to some other women that you're going to be featuring. I know you're just getting going with these, and I really appreciate everybody participating today. And so feel free to reach out if you want to connect further, whether it be on some of the, Rob, the cultural, or if there's other opportunities to connect on programs throughout the state. Happy to do so. And I think we can just all continue to learn from each other. And there's always so much you want to share, but it's been a great morning. So thank you, Teresa.